Hi guys, it's been a while. I was going through my old videos and I have to say it's crazy how much I've changed. I'm not that girl that I used to be, and it's weird to see myself like that. Anyways, I'm back with a story time. This one's about my school days, from being a topper to getting in trouble. I've got some stories to share, so grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's dive into it. So, in 2019, I took admission in this particular school, and everyone used to like me since I was good at academics. And then 10th grade went well, but then lockdown came, and we were home for a long gap. And when the school begins, they started showing their toxic traits. Like in other schools, there were shifts of students in order to maintain the social distancing. But in our school, they used to keep one day off for girls and the other for boys. I mean, what's wrong? So this thing remained for like a week, and then everything came back to the basics. So after lockdown, my abilities to study, to perform well was almost ruined. But I made this friend group, which was actually fun, but made my school life hell sometimes. So in my 12th class, we used to bunk classes, guy friends, and it was a big deal for them to digest because when your relatives and your school staff get involved, it's a disaster. Starting off with one incident I'm gonna talk about that's ridiculous. I'm sure you're gonna laugh. We were talking about marriages and we were making jokes and tying our hands pretending fake marriages. It wasn't a big deal, but some bit went to the principal office and complained about it. Every single person in school was talking about it. I forgot the incident and went home. Next day, me and my friends, those who were even absent on that day, were called to the principal's office. And the sir was so kind. He gently asked, "Kids, what's the matter?" And I'm like, "Sir, this marriage incident happened, and now everyone is talking about us, about our reputation. Everyone is like gossiping everywhere about it." He laughed and said, I know, go back to your work, don't worry about this, forget about it. And we went back to the class, and I got to know that this marriage rumor has spread everywhere, hyped by my so-called relatives in the school. And I was like, bitches, you should be ashamed of yourself. And then a new ma'am came to our school. At first I thought she was nice, but she had a pick me attitude. I mean, with girls she would be insulting them without hesitation, and with boys she would be like all smiling and jokes. One day my friend and I were doing electronic configuration sitting in library. She saw some guy sitting in front of us and she freaked out. She came there and she's like, "Get up and go back to your classes. I'm gonna lock this room and all." And I'm like, "Ma'am, can you please wait?" I asked her to wait, but she didn't care. She's like, "No, no, no. If you won't go, I'll complain about it." Another day, my friend and I were playing in the ground, throwing water at each other with our water bottles, and we got soaked. She somehow found out and appeared on the stairs catching me. And she's like, "In front of whole school, what is this behavior? You're setting bad example. You're head girl. You can't do like this. Your garments are visible." And I'm like, and I got to know from other girls that she's talking shit behind my back in other classes, saying not to be like her. She is such a bitch. She's not a good girl, and how can she be head girl? This is not acceptable and all. And from that moment, I started hating her. Things got even worse when some girl used to tell teachers every little thing that we were doing. Adding something to this water incident, they spread the rumors that this particular sir was talking bad about us. And he said something like, "If they're so desperate to get soaked in water, why don't they come naked to the school and make it a water park?" And I was literally pissed at this moment. The very next day, I went to his class. It wasn't my subject, but I sat there and I asked him, "Sir, can we please talk for a minute?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And me with my three friends, we came out of the class and asked him what's the matter, what he has been talking about. And he's like, "The he was in shock. Like, beta, I would never say such things about you. You're like my kids, my own kids. You're like my daughters. And why would I even think about saying these shitty things about you? I can't even imagine." And obviously, we knew it was our own classmates, girls, who did such things. My friend got so hurt that she started crying about this. We knew it was some girls from our class, but we didn't pretend otherwise. But sir, after this, sir entered the class and took a stand for us. That day, I felt so good. Like, at least there is someone who is on our side, who is talking on behalf of us, for us. And he said, "Shame on you guys. these are your fellows, and you're fighting over some positions, ruining their reputation and whatnot. This is not acceptable. You guys are just a piece of shit, blah blah. And I felt so good. That day, sir earned my whole respect. I was so tired, had to take a break. Let's get into the story. All this happened. Everyone was so pissed, and I got dismissed from my position. And I didn't care about these leading things that much because I wanted to enjoy my school life despite being some slave to someone. As the nomination started, I saw some girls applying for the head girl that I didn't expect. I was so emotional at this moment, and my friends convinced me to do the same. So somehow I took this form and applied to get the position back. And there is this one teacher from my own village who's a very good personality, and in seeing me in his office, he was like, "Beta, why? Why are you doing this all?" And I was like, "What, sir?" And he's like, "Did you ever ask why you got dismissed? Who did this exactly?" And I was like, "I don't even know, sir." And he said, "I don't care about anything else. Just get back to your work. Whoever wants explanation or anything about it, I'll explain to them. You just get, I don't care about what's going on and what's happening." And at that moment, I was so happy. Like, kind hearts still exist, and maybe these would be helpful to survive here in this toxic situation. All this and nobody liked us. Like, no one. Students are getting into competitions. Teachers don't even want to look at us. And by looking at us, I remember this one teacher who used to avoid me completely, like I don't even exist. He used to announce our roll calls like I was 74, and he's like 73, took a pause, and then 75. And I was like, what's wrong? Because this teacher had nothing to do with me. As he was new, I didn't even care that much at that time. And even calling students in the front to explain something, he used to call students sitting with me like on my left and right, but not me. And that was completely shit. Like, expecting these immature shits from students is like very normal. But a grown up uncle, concluding this story to a worst incident that made me hate everyone, was this physics teacher. Sir, wherever you are, huge respect, but I hate you more than anything. So he was pissed at us from the beginning as we were good at it and we used to enjoy our school life according to us. Some days before our finals, he said, "Whoever comes to my room for checking their practicals, come along with your test records, otherwise I won't check it. And this is the last day." My practicals was done, but this test record was in a small notebook at home. I was furious. Like, if I tell him the truth, he's not gonna leave me anyway. So my best friend and I took someone else's notebook to his office. He checked it and we got caught. Like the first page, like its first page, I glued to its cover, and he threw our practicals disrespectfully, saying that come along with your parents tomorrow, otherwise I won't check it, I will fail you people. And somehow I convinced my mom to go there and talk to him. And the next day, from the assembly, we were coming back to our classes. As I came up through the stairs, I saw my mom waiting there for me. Her eyes were filled with tears, red, and I couldn't stop my heart from beating so fast. And I went there and I asked her, "What's the matter?" And she's like, "You know what people are talking about you?" And I know it was the people who were my relatives from the staff who turned out to be the disaster. And she told me to stay away from these few friends, as she said I'm not paying enough attention to the studies. And having no father is reflecting a bad image of me in my school. And I was shattered. I told her to go home and I ran to the washroom and I was crying so loud. This female teacher started knocking door and she's like, "Get out of here, I'm not gonna leave you," blah blah blah. And I was so mad. I opened the door and ran to the classroom. This incident made me realize it's the one who know you. It's the people who are known to you that made your life hell and not the strangers. I got to know that my own uncle in this school was spreading rumors about me and was talking shit about me behind my back with my mom. And that thing, that not having a father is reflecting a bad image of me in the whole school and all this. And on last day, when everyone was sharing their experience being in the school, a sir came to me and he's like, "Beta, why don't you go and tell them?" And I was like, "No, sir, I'm not interested at all." And he's like convincing me to say something. He's like, Go there, tell them you didn't come to school the whole year. At least say something. And I went to the stage and I said, we all come from different families. We all are different. We're getting the same education, but still somehow we score different. Like there are failures, topper, average, below average. But it's the provider who gives the same education, but still everyone scores different. And if it's about education, then why not about the treatment that we get in school? And at last I said, thank you for making me learn a few things that I couldn't learn from anywhere. And I even mentioned my whole group, like taking a stand for them as well. But this friend group turned out to be a disaster that I'll talk in another story time. Like, if you want it, let me know in the comment section. Till then, bye bye, and thanks for surviving. Thank you so much for watching it till here. Bye bye.